And just a second. I would like to again say thank you to all the people that made this happen. It's been a long time coming, and I really appreciate it for everybody.
Give you a little history of this past week. Sunday afternoon, I'm sitting at home thinking next week is going to be nice and quiet, nothing eventful. And then the phone rang about 4:30, and it was Sam. He got a call from Top Hand Tower. They had an opening on Monday and said they could come out tomorrow morning, Monday morning, at 9 o'clock and install the antennas. So Sam, myself, and Jim Richardson were out at the site. The folks from Top Hand Tower had just gotten a contract to do some cellular installation, and they had an opening. Luckily, Monday was very cool, cloudy, very little wind, so it was an ideal day. That's how the day began. That's the platform out at Newcastle, and you're looking to the west, and that building right in front of it there is the location where the repeaters are contained. Tower is, there's spirited debate on how tall the platform actually is. Some say 90 feet, some say 100, some say 80. Depends on where you're standing, I guess.
It's 88 according to the people that built the tower.
Yeah. But that's how the day began. And that's the tower crew from Top Hand. There are 3 guys that go up the tower. The guy in the t-shirt, he's the ground monkey, does all the coordination on the ground.
Without a hard hat.
You'll notice the guys all have really professional level climbing gear. They've got the station ropes, the shock cords, tool bags, parts bags, proper climbing boots, hard hats so they don't bang their head on all that steel up there. The one important thing you will notice, they're young. I'll tell you right now, guys, I don't think we could have done this as fast as they did. We could have done it eventually, but
we could have done it had lots of us been hurting for weeks after.
If ever.
40 years ago.
Those guys, they had hundreds of feet of rope, the proper tools, snatch blocks, all sorts of pulleys. Especially they had the experience. They've worked together before. They knew what they were doing. They were ready to go.
That's the big thing. They knew what they were doing.
That's Brian. He's owner-operator of Top Hand Towers. He was very much hands-on. He was very much on the ground making decisions, asking information from us, spraying some cold galvanized on some bolts that are about to go up the tower. He was very helpful, and really was a good guy to work with. Don's worked with him before. We made a good pick. Here they are going up the tower. Now, there is a very nice ladder going up the side of the tower, and it's got a safety wire on it. Did these guys use the ladder? Nope. They climbed the side of the tower.
Well, that's what they're used
I think they may have more fun doing that. Going up the ladder probably was too easy. You'll see the 3. This is a waveguide conduit. This is a conduit, PVC conduit that we ultimately lashed the heliax to, and a second electrical conduit. That is the mount going for the UHF antenna going up. That's my bolt bucket, by the way. I wonder if it's still out there. I don't know. But parts, tools, bolt buckets were going up and down like crazy. Like I said, these guys knew what they were doing. They worked together. They had their all of their ducks in alignment. That's the UHF mount being bolted to the platform itself. Because of the length of the mounting mast, they had, excuse me, they had to mount the UHF antenna mount on to the platform itself. There they are mounting the UHF antenna onto the platform. Here is the VHF antenna. There's a standoff mount right here, and when this guy was tightening those bolts, he was like stretching out and had his ratchet going. It was
unnerving.
wonderful to watch, and also I kind of, oh God, I hope he doesn't fall. But they used their own standoff mount. We had two that we offered up, and they said, no, we're going to use our own. And that's because they know who manufactured it, they know the quality of the welds, they knew the quality of the materials. They wanted to use their own materials. Here they are after they have gotten the antennas mounted and the heliax run. The heliax comes across and then it goes in through, there's an old waveguide. There were 3 waveguide mounts entering the building. They were going to try to cut one off and slip the heliax through it. So in the process of cutting that waveguide entry off, it fell off. So it left a nice hole in the side of the wall. So that's where they fed the heliax through, and they packed it with silicon putty to seal it up. There's the finished product to the left. Over here is the UHF antenna. Here is the VHF antenna. Of course, the heliax comes down along the side of that PVC pipe, goes into the building. Both runs of heliax connect to alpha delta antenna arresters. When we got to that point, we made some checks on the antennas. We were only able to check the 2-meter antenna that day. Jim Richardson had his rig expert antenna analyzer at 147.3. The 2-meter antenna tested at 1.3 SWR. The next day, Dwayne was able to test the UHF antenna. It was flat. And as I understand from Don, that's the way they're designed to be. So that was a big relief that we didn't have any problems up the heliax or at the top of the platform. On Monday, we hooked up the 2-meter repeater, the 2-1 repeater, using not recommended coax. So we just wanted to get some coax on it and test it. The problem being is we were using single shield coax, not double shield. And that problem will be solved here shortly. We tried out the repeater. For those of you, how many checked into the net Thursday evening? Me, yeah, okay. There were several. When we went over to 2-1, we immediately noticed problems. People initially would hear a nice signal and then they drop out. And that was some of the stations, some didn't. And we sort of assessed that as the fact that we were not using double shield coax, and we're probably getting some RF back into the repeater itself. Also the possibility the cans may need, the duplexer may need a little bit of tweaking since it's been sitting out there for such a long time. But we'll get those problems solved. Listen on 2.1, listen on .3, 444.3. Kind of assess whenever you hear it, notice where you are, how well did you hear it, and that gives us a sense of how good a coverage we're getting. The antenna, the 2-meter antenna, as you can see, is all of the dipoles are in line, which creates a cardioid pattern, and that's kind of aimed roughly at Mount Trashmore, the big hill next to I-240. And that subtly give us some sort of a goodly coverage over the metro area. Other than that, once we get the new coax in there, the proper coax, the double shielded coax, hopefully we will see a excellent improvement of the 2.1 machine, and also it'll be interesting to see how the .3 machine, when we get it up to 20, it only goes up to 25. That's the max. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. But from the time the top hand tower guys arrived, it was about 9 o'clock. They started up the tower about 9:45. We had a delay because we had to get insurance information from top hand tower to the tower owner, Heartland Towers. They started up the tower about 9:45, and we were pretty much finished by 2 o'clock. So once again, could we have done this by ourselves? Yeah, it would have taken days, if not weeks. These guys did it in a matter of a few hours and did it at a professional level. Any questions?
Congratulations.
Are you still accepting donations for the tower funds?
We haven't
Why
got the
would the
bill
answer to
yet.
that be no?
Yeah, Dave.
Need to give a big hand to Don Clark for donating that antenna for the 2-meter part of
Yay. Yeah, that antenna right there, the only problem is this bottom dipole is almost level with the ring. That's just how the structure played out. That's how we'll have to deal with.
Not a problem.
But are we accepting donations for the repeater fund? Of course, we're always accepting donations for the repeater fund. And because there may be some other things we want to improve or add to the, not only 2.1 site, but out at 8.2 and up at Baptist. Okay.
Do you have a picture of the whole tower to show scale?
It should-
I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Seeing this is the first time, I had no idea it was such a huge tower.
When I was building this slideshow, I thought I should have taken pictures of the repeater, and I also had a chance. I don't know if you remember, several years ago, we were still meeting in Rose State. I had that rack panel that had the plaque on it. Said repeaters are dedicated to the public service in the memory of Dave Duskin, NE5S. I've been carrying that plaque around in my car for several years. Finally, this last Monday, I was able to mount it on the rack over the repeater. So, all right, there you have it, folks.
Lucian has a question.
Did any of the tower climbers happen to take a picture of the view of Oklahoma City from up on the tower?
No, they do not do that. They will not do that.
They will not?
Safety.
Could
They
take
don't
a
want
picture?
distraction. You'll have to argue that with the
Okay,
top hand
okay,
people.
Okay.
Lucian, I have a video that was done when we first tried to get out there to the tower, and it did a panoramic view from the drone over the tower.
Okay.
So I will
thought
make
there
sure
was.
that that's posted someplace
I thought
and
there
give the
was.
link to our information officer.
That's good.
I've got Barbara, I have a picture Steve sent to, I forget who, but I ended up with a copy of it. It shows a shot of the site from the highway and gives you a perspective.
Thank you.
Okay.
My dad had a tall tower compared to everybody else, and I was thinking